Good morning, Supervisors. David Weisman, Alliance for Nuclear Responsibility. And I'd like to thank you for undertaking this, which I think is really going to be today just the start of a process that began. I know was supported by Supervisor Meacham. It was just a casual conversation we had a couple of summers ago about the what-if question. And so I hope that this study can be taken today as a starting point where it needs to go. I think, I certainly wish that some of the representatives of the various chambers of commerce had waited around a little bit longer. Perhaps they've not been kept abreast, as I have provided to Mr. Buckshire and the supervisors, of all the unanticipated and unexpected nuclear plant closures from around this country in just the first now 9 months of this year. 4 of them, all for places that had not planned on it. It should be noted that, as has been rightly pointed out, these decisions will be made in corporate offices or by regulators not in touch with San Luis Obispo County, nor asking your input. Just 2 weeks before San Onofre closed at the Public Utilities Commission, the sworn witness and chief of nuclear engineering assured the commissioners that there was nothing wrong with Unit 2. And 2 weeks later, his CEO closed the plant. This can be abrupt. It can be unanticipated. Your desire to plan for this and to know how we'd make up those losses, I appreciate that. It's in the nascent stages and look forward to hearing the details. The follow-up questions that were some of them, like reaching out to the school district and asking for more information. Or on the job laws. These are all, I think, important considerations. Some of it's been valuable information. I appreciate Mr. Candela of the Pismo Chamber actually laying out for you in actual dollars the amount of money you're looking at, $4-point-some-odd million. Great. The plan should be what happens if and when that goes away, and how would Pismo re-envision itself. I think the most interesting words were from the Morro Bay Chamber of Commerce in their rather honest admission of what it's like to have a small-town economy dependent on a power plant that lost it and hadn't planned adequately for it. And I think that comment stood out among those presented by the business community as one that shows a sense of concern. Again, we have an example, and I provided it to the commissioners, to Mr. Buckshire, of what's being done in Vermont. Now, in Vermont, they've been given 1 year's notice about the closing of their plant, and they're quickly calling together their forces to come up with a study. And what they're doing is they're looking, and I point this out to Mr. Buckshire and Ms. Jackson, broader. How do they actually envision their whole community fitting in the region? They're in New England. Do they want to become more of a college town like Bennington nearby? We have Cal Poly. Do they want to get back to New England's more industrial roots of mills and factories? How do they want to reinvent their future that's been forced on them? They hired a consultant who specializes in military base closures, and I think perhaps the county might tap into that sort of expertise in their planning. So in conclusion, I applaud the start of this process, but I think the interesting developments will, of course, be in the details as you decide to develop this study in the coming year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weisman.